on the camera. Then you may allow yourself to listening to it and turn off your camera. But today we have a birthday child. And so because of the inspiration of having the day where the spirit came to this planet, we are allowing all of us to remember that beautiful appearance and give Barbara our great appreciation, our love, and give it also to self. So let's see, why is it so cool? Let's explore. Let's get into the place of the freedom, the inner peace, the inner happiness. And you don't have to close your eyes. Yet when you close your eyes, there's quite a difference. It's already taking off some noise and helping us to come into this moment. And you will realize that you're breathing and you're sitting or standing or laying down. And you are in a space and without our sense of seeing active, you may already realize that the busyness, the noise slows down inside. Who is observing? Who is recognizing that you are observing all that? And now observe that the physical body get very relaxed, allowing the physical body to relax and let go. Just allowing the physical to be upright and centered, feeling the bottom of the feet on the floor if you're sitting, or if you're laying down, feel your whole backside laying on the surface, touching the surface, being carried. Feeling your buttocks on the chair or your back if you're reclining. And being fully aware of the head upright and the chin slightly tucked in, which opens the spine of the neck vertebrae, allowing to give more space between the vertebrae of the neck and the upper back, which soothes and helps the shoulders to relax. And the shoulders are drifting out into the right and left direction into space. Giving the shoulder blades and the cervical spine, a little bit more space, and then around the neck, the muscles, all around, relax. And the chest opens. And the organs inside, relax. And feeling the lower back and the pelvis floor, the hips and hip joints, and the spine. Relax. Open. And letting that go. As if it's melting. Letting go of tension that you might become aware about. Relax. And the thighs. Relax. And the knees, lower legs, feet, all open. Relax. And observe for a moment. Who is observing? Without any judgment, just realizing that there are still thoughts, possibly. Maybe your posture is not in the way that you think it need to be. Realizing it's a thought. Don't touch it, just let it go. Relax. Or that your eyes are twitching and it shouldn't be. Just realize that and let it go. Or that there's still tension and becomes even more pronounced in the lower back. Just realize that, observe it. Who is observing these thoughts arising? And observe, are these thoughts stable or do they come and go? Relax. Stay with that for a moment. Simply observing it. Less and less active. More presence. What is that that is stable in that all rising and falling, coming and going, without answering the question? Relax. Relax. And observing now all the inner organs and the brains, beginning with the inner brain, the big brain, the small brains, and the glands. Are there sensations? How do you know that you have a brain? What is observing your brains? And observe without answering the question. You simply know. Find it. Connect with that. The space that the brains are taking in space. Now empty. You still have a brain, yet that observes the brain becomes more pronounced, more clear, more present. Empty. And observe whatever arises, not touching it, no judgment. Let it come and go. Empty. Detaching from all that arises. It doesn't matter. It comes, and that observes it is there, very stable, very present, very even, very bright. And now observe with that presence your neck, the inner space of it. Instead of looking outside only, looking also inside. Who is looking? Are there boundaries of your neck? You immediately know. Empty. Letting go of the thought of your neck. Experience and observe it. Who is observing the experience of your neck? empty, letting go. Now your shoulders, arms, and hands. The space that shoulders, arms, and hands are taking in space. Left and right, observe it all at once. Sensations, feelings come and go. Empty. Empty. Sure. You're already very present. Bring that presence into the chest. You're aware about the inner space of your chest and explore the space of your lungs. How are your lungs? And allowing just to observe, which needs no thinking, no thoughts required. Empty. And you're aware that you are in your lungs, present in all the spaces of the lungs, very relaxed yet focused, observing and being aware in your lungs. Empty. Detaching. Now your heart. Through the layers of the skin and the tissues into the inner space of the heart. Observing. You can observe the heart working very well. Blood is flowing. And when you listen deep inside, seeing deep inside, you may start to also hear the sound of the heart. Or when the blood is flowing through all the capillaries and all the veins and arteries through the system, you may hear sounds, allowing you to travel deeper into the awareness of your circulatory system, into the awareness of it. If you don't hear anything, doesn't matter. Be present. Empty. Letting go. And now the inner space of the organs in the torso, upper part. Allow yourself with your presence to feel and observe the space of your pancreas, which is in front of the body, behind the stomach, and feel the stomach. Look into it, be present inside. Penetrating through the layers of the skin of each of these organs into the tissues, into the spaces of the cells. And realizing all the connections and systems that these organs are connected to. And how everything is flowing and changing continuously. Nothing stands still. Who is observing it? Empty. And now observe your liver and your gallbladder underneath the ribcage on the right side of your body, torso. It's a huge organ, almost takes the whole side of the right into the front. And a small little gallbladder space underneath the lobes. How are they? Observe it. And your presence, know. There's no thoughts. Who is observing and knows? Becoming more and more aware of your inner space. Empty. More and more peace is now visiting the kidneys and going through the layers of the skin of both kidneys in the back, left and right side. Even if you may only have one kidney, if you're born with two, there is still the field of the kidneys. The information is still there. With any organ, if that was operated on, if you're born with the field and information is still active, and you can sense and be with that space. And visiting through the layers of the kidneys and the adrenals who are sitting on top of. And realizing there's an outer space of the kidneys with different functions and an inner space of the kidneys. Penetrating into and through, being in your kidneys, deep inside. As if you're visiting a plant and observing the entire production. Observe it, empty. Simply observe. Now the inner space of the spleen, underneath the ribcage on the left side. It's a small organ with a lot of functions of importance. Even if you don't know the functions, connect with it and receive the information. Whatever is present. Just observing. Don't touch it, attach to it, just let it go, observe it. Very relaxed, with that presence, that sense of love, peace, spaciousness or freedom. Enjoy. And even if there is some sensations in the body that may feel uncomfortable, if you pay attention in that space and you observe it, you see, sense, feel, experience a rising and falling of sensations, pleasant or unpleasant. And the pleasant sensations may change into unpleasant, and the unpleasant back into pleasant or empty. Always changing, nothing stands still. And the same with the flow of things, the energy in it. Whatever you can observe, you observe is nothing standing still. But in order to experience that nothing stands still, who is observing? Who is stable in that? What is stable in that? Explore. Allowing to reflect the presence, the peace, the love, the freedom, the happiness, reflecting into these areas. Observe, empty. And it doesn't matter if it's pleasant or unpleasant. It's changing anyway. You're coming deeper and deeper, or better and better, to knowing self. The one that is conscious and becomes aware about itself. And when it does, it detaches automatically more and more from the sensation, from the appearance, from the phenomena of up and down, waxing and waning, good or bad sensations, and so on. You just keep going. Observing now the reproductive system and bladder. Connecting with that space, being aware and entering into it. Going through the skins, that what is determine the space of the reproductive system, usually is our skins in some way. And then into tissues and cells, going into it, being present in it, with that beautiful state. It's not a concept of having a reproductive system. Go in it. Be fully in it. What happens? Observe. You may connect with the chi field of the reproductive system and the information. Going through, not attaching to any of it. Empty. Observing now your spine. Going very slow from the atlas to the tailbone. Becoming aware of each vertebra, one by one. Going in it and through. Being present as if you are each vertebra, and then letting go, going into the next, letting go. The spaces between the vertebrae. Becoming aware of the core of the spine. Empty. Each vertebra. If there's any vertebra that needs a little bit more time, or better said, attention, stay there for a moment. No expectation. Just observing, very relaxed. Not attaching to it. No concept. Schön. empty. In the lower back, take your time, and the coccyx. And experience how it's all connected. And empty. As longer as you stay in the space aware, observing, very relaxed. What are you observing? And now include your entire spine and leg space. The space that the thighs and the knees and the lower legs and feet are taking in space. And penetrating through the systems, the skin and all the muscles and tendons and ligaments, tissues, into the bones. Empty. Into the cells. And now observe your entire existence. You still are in the space. Yet there's peace and a sense of happiness. Now check if there's any limitation. Are you bound to a place? Or can you expand? Can you expand inside? Are there any limitations? Sure. Empty. And even though that all of that make you up is present, you're less attached and more clear. Who is observing? Now, did you need to do anything in order to have that experience that is reflecting now? Or was it just there? And because we took off, we empty. It's more clear. Is there any limitations to that? Just explore. Or are you free to explore wherever you want to explore? Are there any thoughts or memories or desires? Any concepts? Or are you just present? In this presence, observe your state of beingness. Naturally, you're very calm, peaceful, even happy in that state. Or there still possibly thoughts are coming in? Possibly. Yet you're very far away, detached, as if our small mind has less power over and gets less and less. Presence becomes more clear, more bright. Harmonizes everything. Are you able to let it go, that presence? Or to lose it? Or to forget about it? Or do you feel that this is as you have been? And years ago, on the timeline of being on this planet, you had the same sensation, the same state of beingness. There's no age to it. There's no gender to it. There's no color of the skin to it. There's no body shape to it. Relax. Now, is that something that is there and here are you? Or are you it? Explore the truth in I am you. You are me. We are us. We are all of everything. Constant being. Stable. Never moving. as more as we practice that state, then you can bring that state into our daily life, where things are in opposing forms appearing, where things appear, where thoughts appear. And you realize how much we have been trained to listen to the small mind thinking concepts, and that took over. And behind it, or encapsulating, there was a being. And we bring that beingness into everything. And when you do, everything you do becomes full of grace, full of love, full of energy. And everything that is of so-called the outside or phenomena is becoming clear. Because you can observe the rising and falling. Find that what is stable in everything. What's never moving. And you never can have a sense of being lost, which is a concept, or being there, which is also a concept. You simply are. And for a while, we just now sit what words can't describe, what only can be experienced. And we're stabilizing that state in silence, observing gracefully with peace, love, realizing that you are mirroring these qualities, are not attached to whatever happens in the world. Yet you are in it and can go through it with your grace and peace and love, happiness. Empty. There's not even a need of going deeper. There's just the exploration and connecting of beingness. You can use N sound. N and that stable state are one. use it quiet and silently. Unbonding. In this beautiful state, do not get attached. Just make an effort to now go into a place that you feel you would like to spend a moment in your body. And allowing that beautiful state to harmonize, bring order, to empty that space, allowing to let go, not be attached to any outcome, any idea, any concept, just simply being there. For another quiet moment. Your presence is very clear. Observing your presence in the space. And now witness as all the spaces, everyone's space that has been observed now, are merging and opening together. Feel the presence of everyone within you and open up for the presence of all practitioners in this community, as if they all are looking inside in their beautiful state, inviting all high frequencies, all masters that master that state, all beings seen and unseen, that are knowing about oneness state, shining through the space, all as one together. And observe. And you're so clear about observing itself, bringing it now to the lower Dantian space. Use your hands, huge, invisible hands as big as the entire universe, gathering pure chi. And bring it to the navel. Place hands on top of the navel. Right hand for the woman comes in first, left hand for the man, or however feels right. Gathering. Shining into the lower Dantian space, emanating from the lower Dantian space into the rest of this physical body, enveloping into the middle Dantian, the chest, into the arms, shoulders, the neck, into the legs, into the upper Dantian. So beautiful. So even. All is within you, expanding, knowing that all is well in that space. In that space, there is no well and ill. There's only isness. It's all good. Proud. And you bring that state more and more into whatever happens on the busyness of duality, creation. And even pain becomes so beautiful. Even illness becomes so beautiful. No concept. No thinking. Knowing that everything, how bad it is, even the wars, they have a beginning, a peak, and an end. And in this knowingness, you stay stable. In any sickness, there is also an end. And anything that's so beautiful, there's also a life, its beginning and an end. It's creation coming from that source. And as more as you become stable in your isness, as more as you can emanate and reflect, sending this good information and loving whatever is, completely detached from concepts of the mind, which are bringing emotions and forms. They're all forms. As more as you can spend time in your isthmus state, as more you bring peace, happiness, this natural state back into your life. And it's not something that wasn't there before and is now there. You just remember it is there all the time. And you take a deep breath into the next breath of yours, a good deep one, bringing more life to this place, that place that you inhabit, as called as your body and the space you are in. And move your hands and fingers and become aware of yourself in this beautiful state. Ah, la.